Have you tried Snapplique yet? Snapplique is a fun and easy method to take traditional quilting patterns and turn them into machine embroidery designs. In this particular series, I'm going to be doing Merry Christmas, and this is a beautiful quilt from Amy Bradley Designs, and it is a quilting applique design. We'll scan the pattern pieces into the Brother Scan and Cut and convert it into a machine embroidery design. You can even use the Scan and Cut to cut out all your pieces. If you've never done this before, I highly encourage you to give it a try. It's a lot of fun, and you will be amazed that you can make adorable blocks like this in just a matter of minutes. I hope you can join me and do Snapplique with me, where you can do applique in a snap. I wanted to take a couple of minutes and show you how to resize these applique designs for the Merry Christmas quilt from Amy Bradley Designs if you don't have a machine that has a ginormous hoop. And it's pretty simple to do. The first thing you want to do is go into Brother Canvas, whether it's the online version or the downloaded version, it doesn't matter which. And you want to get your pieces set up almost, it doesn't have to be exact, but you want it pretty close to what it's going to look like in the final design. So you know that everything, you can just kind of see how it's going to look. Now let's jump over here to Embrilliance. This hoop right here is essentially almost the 8x12. Let's say I'm going to make this on my Brother 10 needle, and this is the magnetic hoop that I have for it, the Dime Monster Snap hoop. It's an 8x12, so I don't want to have to do multiple hoopings or any of that. I just want to make this in this particular hooping. So the way this is done is you will go up to your preferences, the little yellow folder in preferences, and you want to get the millimeter size of the hoop that you're going to be using. Sometimes this is also printed on the hoops themselves, so you can take a look at your hoop. If you don't use Brother, you can click this drop down arrow, and whatever format your machine takes, you can click. Like if I want to do the Genomes, there are the Genome hoops right there. And when you click on them, it gives you, of course, the sewing field. This is the sewing field, width and height is right here, and then it's approximately 6x7. So you can kind of click around on these and see how they change. All right, so I want to go back to mine, and I am using the multi-needle hoop. It is 300 by 200, okay, for the sewing field, or approximately an 8x12. So I'm just going to click cancel. So now I'm armed with that knowledge. I want to go out to Brother Canvas now, and I have already placed all of my pieces for the penguin into approximately where they're going to go. I want to go up to the View tab. And in the View tab, I want to come down here to Units, and I want to switch it from inches to millimeters and make sure that you're on that. Okay, I want to highlight all of the pieces, okay, so that everything is selected. I'm going to right click and group. And down here at the bottom of the screen, I get a 238.1 by 226.9. Okay, what I call the offending number. Okay, that's the one I want to change. So 238 will fit in the 300, but 226 will not fit in the 200. So I'm going to take the smaller. I want to make as little of a change as possible to resize the applique pieces on the block. So I want to use the smaller number in this case. All right, you can do it either way. It's all for the look you're going for. But since I know 238 will fit in the 300, the 226 won't fit in the 200, in the 300 by 200 hoop, I'm going to change the 226. Now, if we come over here to Mr. Search Engine and look at inch to millimeter conversion, I can see that half an inch is about 12, let's say 13 millimeters. Let's just round up, okay? And I'm saying half an inch because most embroidery hoops, even though it says 300 by 200, it doesn't mean that. you probably need to come in at least 1/2 inch on all sides just to be sure that it's going to fit. And so I need to bring this down by 12, let's say 13 millimeters. So with it highlighted, I'm going to go to the properties, which is this little piece of paper right here with the lines right next to the trash can. And I'm going to make sure maintain aspect ratio is checked. And I'm going to change this down. If I subtract 13 millimeters, it'll be 213. Let's round it to there, and I'm going to hit enter. So we have a little bit of a change. It came down a little bit, but now I know for a fact everything resized together and to scale. That's the beauty of vector graphics. So everything changed to scale. Now you can right click and ungroup these, and then you can move them apart onto the mat so that you know that the different fabric pieces can be cut out of the different fabrics. You also might consider resizing the entire quilt. You don't have to. If you resize your applique pieces down, it means that you're going to have a little bit more background up above the piece and all around it than you normally would. This one didn't change a whole lot. If your hoop is only a 6x10 and you don't want to have to do multiple hoopings, you want to scale the whole thing down so it fits into your 6x10, it's going to require probably a different change in size on your blocks. Then you would just need to cut your 2.5 inch sashing strips to the same height as your block. And you'll just incrementally, you just bring the whole thing in just a tiny bit. You'll have the same look, but your overall quilt size will be different. So it's all in the look that you're going for. I recommend testing it out on scraps before you stitch with your pretty fabric. Also, you guys have asked about how to do some reshaping of Juju's backdrops in order to do background quilting for a quilt as you go method. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, we'll take the 8x12 hoop that I've got right here. Now Juju only has, her largest backdrop is a 10x10. So that's not to say you can't do 2 smaller ones and nest them together. So here's the holly and stockings backdrops that Juju has on her site, Designs by Juju. So in the hoop, quilt as you go. You've got a choice here. Now, quilt as you go, if that's the way you want to do this, because you don't think the quilt will be back. It's August of 2024 right now. And if you don't feel like your long armor is going to get your quilt back to you in time before Christmas, maybe you want to make it quilt as you go. So I'm going to open this up. And we've got square blocks and sashing and width blocks. Let's take a look at these. So look at these width blocks here, okay? This hoop is 8x12. So let's look at the 4x12. Okay, I'm gonna bring this in. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to minimize this. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's turn it sideways. I'm going to click the rotate 90. All right, this looks good. I'm going to bring this up. And you can see here in the bottom corner, it's too big. So I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm just going to scale it down until it fits and it looks good. And I'm in Embrilliance now, and I'm just using Embrilliance Essentials for right now. This is the placement line for the batting. This is the tack down for the batting and the tack down for the fabric. And they're just a tiny bit different, so you don't have bulky stitches there. On this, right click, copy. I'm just highlighting the stitching. Right click and paste. And it pasted directly on top. And I'm going to move it down to fill the rest of the hoop. It's just like if you were on a long arm. You don't want them to be so far apart. You have tunneling, but you also don't want them overlapping each other. Now I'm going to take this stitch right here. This is a placement line for the batting, and I'm going to drag it down, and Embrilliance automatically recalculates the stitches for you. There's the tack down for the batting. Okay, and here is the tack down for the background fabric. Perfect. You don't want it to be too large for the hoop. Watch down here and make sure you are not in the red. And I'm going to Control A to select all, and then maybe make it just a little bit smaller to make me comfortable that I'm not going to have any drama while I'm stitching. This looks amazing. So look, now I've got background quilting. Now that I have got my background quilting on where I want it, I'm going to go back out to Brother Canvas. So these are the pieces that I resized, and I came up here to the title and I just titled it Penguin Resized, and came over to the project tab and then hit the inbox with a plus sign to save it as another project. Then what you want to do is download this, and when you do the download, you're going to get download to PC, and that's what you'll use to create your embroidery design. And then you'll download, scan, and cut transfer. And this is the button you will use to cut out all of your pieces. I'm going to click close. So now that that's down there, I'm going to come back to Embrilliance, and I'm going to jump into Stitch Artist. So I'll come up here to this sundial looking button, and I'm going to click on Vector. I want to get Penguin Resized and open. Okay. Now it's kind of busy and it's hard to see. So one thing you can do is to highlight both of these. I'm going to hold down the Control key, highlight both of these, and you can click the lock button with a hide. So that's the one that's in white. And then if you click onto the main stage, they disappear, but they're not gone. Now you can take your pieces of the penguin and put them pretty much into the right order that they need to be in for stitching, so you can see it fits. I want to everything on the penguin. I'm clicking over here on the objects. I'm going to jump out of Stitch Artist, and I want to click the center in the hoop button. That's perfect. So now I know it's going to be centered. And then what you can do once you get it in there is you will you'll realign the design so that it prints at the bottom of the block, just like the pattern indicates. A lot of you ask me if the software will remove the background stitching from behind the applique, and I want to show you that that happens automatically. So I'm going to re-highlight these individual pieces that are the background quilting. You can see it already right there, but let me unlock these and get them so everything is visible. But you can see this now when I click on the Remove Hidden Stitches button. If you don't have that little scissor button right there, that is a feature of Embrilliance Essentials. You need that. So I'm just going to click the Remove Hidden Stitches, and you can see that the hidden stitches are removed. It'll do a quick tie and a jump, and then before you put your applique down, you might want to go ahead and trim those away. You don't necessarily have to. But this is how you can resize your blocks. You can add background quilting for Quilt As You Go. You can do it with a smaller hoop if you don't have a big ginormous hoop. I hope this was helpful. Please give the video a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you soon. You guys go sew something. Bye.